I was born in Ecuador, and we moved here when I was starting elementary school. I moved here with my brother and my parents. We didn't have any family or any friends here, so when we started going to a Spanish Catholic church, we started to make a big community out of it. I knew that I really wanted to have a relationship with God, but I felt like during the week I was really distant and I was really far from Him, and I couldn't find that one-on-one personal relationship with Him. I didn't know how to talk to God. I was scared to try different things because I didn't want to hurt my relationship with my parents or the community that I built, because that was so important to us. It was basically the only family we had here. My brother started to really struggle with depression, and he started to have some tough times, and I noticed that it started to affect my parents a lot. I love my parents so much that I wanted to kind of take that pain away from them a little bit and wanted to be almost perfect in every aspect, so they felt like they never had to worry about me and they could focus on my brother. But me putting so much pressure on myself caused me to start to struggle with my own mental health issues, and that led me to have really bad anxiety where I felt like I couldn't fail and I didn't want to let anyone down around me. The first panic attack that I had, I couldn't stop shaking, and then I started crying, and then I couldn't breathe and I couldn't catch my breath, and it lasted for about 45 minutes. But then I realized that they started to happen more frequently, and they started to get longer every time. But it also caused me to feel really lonely because it felt like I was getting further away from my goal of being normal or not struggling anymore. As I started university and I was falling into all the different temptations of the secular world, I felt like I had sinned too much at that point. I was so ashamed to even talk to Him or to even pray because I felt like he was disappointed in me. So I just focused on graduating and starting to work and starting to figure out who I was going to be. And a few years after graduating and starting to work, I met my now husband, who is a very devout Christian, has a really strong faith. And one of the things that we connected on was my deep desire for a better relationship with God. After trying different churches, we decided to come to Celebration Church. Walking in through those front doors, something changed in me. I started to feel almost like that shakiness of a panic attack coming, but it wasn't anxiety, it was excitement this time. And I remember almost feeling like Jesus put His hand on my shoulder and telling me to breathe. And for the first time, I found some peace within me. And then the message that the pastor gave us really touched me. He mentioned having a relationship with God, that personal relationship that I've been craving for my entire life. I remember turning to my husband and telling him, I have to learn how to pray. I have to read the Bible. I really want to get to know Him more. On the other hand, I continued to have the mental health struggles that I was having before. The control issues that I was having and not being able to control my emotions and my body led me to want to control my husband and led me to have more jealousy issues and trust issues. And I was becoming a person that I almost didn't recognize. My husband really suggested that I lean towards God, and I asked him to tell me what to do and to just fill me with that guidance. I felt almost like in my gut that Jesus was telling me that I needed to do two things. He asked me to get water baptized, and then Jesus also asked me to fully surrender all my control, all my issues, and all my fear and anxiety to Him. So I got water baptized. After coming out of my water baptism, I did feel like I had all this energy again. So that's when I had the strength that I needed to fully surrender to Him. And it was when I took it all out of me and put it into Him that I started to feel at peace, and I felt a calmness that I never had before. Since giving my life to Jesus, my life has changed completely. When I look back on it, I never thought it was going to be this beautiful. When there's an issue that we face, whether it's in our marriage or in parenthood, I don't turn towards myself now to find the answers. I don't go towards my control issues, but I now go towards Him and I ask Him for guidance, and I pour out all our fears into Him so He can take control and He can guide us in the right direction, which has brought so much more calmness and light and peace into our lives. It's a peace that I never thought I was ever going to be able to find.